Welcome to Connect with Keeney. I'm your host, Matt Keeney, and today we're going to dive into real people, real stories with real impact. I'm with a special guest today right alongside at a different venue, a venue that I know well. My guest, my coach, my mentor, Dale King. Dale, how you doing?
Man, my heart rate's a little high after the workout.
What did you call that, Doughboy Fitness? Or?
Yeah. That was just get it in, fit it in, get it in.
Yeah, so if we are breathing hard right now, me and Dale just did a little 15-minute AMRAP. We thought to get some creative juices flowing, but our metabolic rate has not slowed down, and I don't know that it will slow down.
Let's just keep it rolling.
Dale, man, I don't even really know where to begin besides just want to look across the room and say, like, thank you. Thank you. I've told you a couple of times throughout the years, I'm a big words of affirmation guy. As you know, in life, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. Man, close to 14 years ago, I think 2011, 2012, in what I thought was a cool state of my life, you know, I got a super hot chick. She's my fiance, going to get married. I remember walking into a gym up the street, former college athlete. And, you know, what people didn't know was the childhood traumas, the childhood scars, the trailer. So what people saw was the outgoing appearance of weightlifting, sports, chasing girls, drinking beer. Internally, that dude wasn't confident. And right up the street, your first location, which you signed, your 500, or was it the first month lease?
6 month lease. Yeah.
6 month lease.
Yeah.
That location, I was humbled real quick. I walked in thinking I'm going to do 115-pound thrusters for the workout, and by the third rep, I'm like dropping the bar to 65 pounds. But man, just want to thank you for that. And you got anything to add about the beginning stages, embassy, and what were you thinking driving down 23 and up 23?
Oh man. Well, first of all, thank you for those nice words, dude. It's been really awesome to be a small part of your journey, and then more importantly, kind of watching your success in the last couple of years, man. It's like, I'm like, damn, he's gonna run out of places to open up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's awesome. It really is. It's awesome to see not only you succeed, but what you're bringing to the area and the community. It's awesome. It really is. So thank you for those words. But man, there was no plan, dude. Like, everybody's, I get asked this question. Fortunately, I get asked this question a lot, and it was just like, pay $5 a workout. That was the plan, and then hope it was enough for $300 a month, because that was my rent.
Then I've heard you say, if it fails, I got a pretty sweet home gym.
Yeah. And I did not want to do it. I'm kind of the living definition of an accidental entrepreneur. But what I did have is I was extremely passionate about coaching because of what it gave, what CrossFit gave to me in my life when I found it in the military in 2007. And the greatest adaptation happens in between your ears. Like that's a great quote. And, and I just watched him say it on a clip from 15 years ago, where he was like, everybody wants to nerd out on like the physiological adaptation to metabolic conditioning, this, that, and the other. But I venture to say everyone goes to the gym for their brain.
I agree, man.
I was like, yeah, that's 100% it.
So as I sat inside these walls and watched you grow as a leader at that whiteboard, just the presence. And I remember telling you one time you went on vacation, I think maybe the Shark Tank, you was gone 5-7 days. And I was like, man, the gym was just a little bit different. And what that comes is through, your wisdom, military experience, your pedigree, your self-development outside of the gym, the hours and hours of podcasts, the hours of reading a book. I remember having a conversation one time. You're like, hey, have you read this book? I didn't even want to tell you I've never read a book before in my life. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I know that book. Yeah.
Right.
I never read a book. And as you were just talking about, pedigree and standards, taking me back to Dale King. So I say this out in the public, it's you either like Dale King or you dislike Dale King.
Yeah.
And the only reason you dislike Dale King is because he's bold, he's confident, and he's authentic. As I've studied from you, as I've studied for Corey, authenticity is the key to success. Nobody can rip off Dale King. You know what I mean? If you stay true to your standards, true to especially in gym, we got gyms ups and downs, but you know what stayed consistent at PSKC? Dale King's going to wake up and be the leader.
Yeah.
And so I commend you for that. Tell me a little bit, as I was talking to Mike Glockner the other day, tell me what elementary years was like in the King household. So I saw your mom and dad from afar. Yeah, I see your mom in here, exercise a little bit. Seems like hard-headed, kind, hard-headed, fierce.
Yeah.
From afar, I seen your dad as almost like the Clint Eastwood,
that's good.
like calm, cool, collective, but just standards.
Yeah.
Right? Dale's not going to come home drunk or the curfew.
Yeah.
They're standards. So tell me what it's like growing up in your childhood home.
No, man, it was great. I could go on and on and on, but the short of it is my dad was an entrepreneur. He owned his own business. So I got to see that growing up. And actually, kind of the house that I grew up in, the office was in the basement. So every day from like second grade through high school, there was a functioning operating business in the lower level. So I grew up thinking that was normal. Like dad just was the boss and ran this claims insurance adjusting business out of his house. And he ran his show. Like my dad grew up the tail end of the Depression. Like he was a young kid in like World War II era. And then later went in the military like in the 1950s. So that's kind of dad I grew up with. And then my mom, she's grew up in the late 40s, so she's a baby boomer. But the cool thing, like the two kind of seminal experiences, my mom actually spearheaded what was called Reading Recovery here in Portsmouth City Schools. So that was a literacy program for underserved youth. So her kind of laboratory was out of Lincoln, old school Lincoln Elementary School. And she quickly became like a nationally recognized leader in that program because of the success of helping kids learn how to read. And then so I remember leaving school sometimes from high school and walking up, and then it was like they had like one of those it's like the police interrogation with like the plexiglass where you could sit behind it and you can watch teachers teach. Yeah. She had one of those. And then my mom was teaching other teachers how to teach little kids how to read. So like that's kind of what I was brought up in. Super loving. Mom and dad went to every game. But you get your ass busted.
How was the rules around the house? Dad have some strict.
Mom was like the chihuahua, like she was always yipping at me.
Okay.
Dad never said anything. Like if dad said something, it was already too late.
Okay.
And he being a man himself, he kind of let a boy have a little longer rope, but my mom was on your butt the whole time.
And you have a sister, right?
Yeah, I have an older sister.
So you two.
Yeah.
Older sister. She lives in Northern Kentucky.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Met her. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Portsmouth, Ohio, that time you're growing up in the early 90s, late 90s. You graduate late 90s. Mm-hmm. And from Lucasville, Ohio, Portsmouth was a school that you did not want to play in sports. And I say that in a good reason because, man, they're just uber talented with athletes. Yeah. Tell me when you took a liking to weightlifting, junior high football, like, did you like it?
No, yeah, dude. So it's funny. My son is in the third grade. My first year of football was in the fourth grade. Okay. And my parents were like, "Ooh, he's gonna last like a week or two. Like this is not his temperament kind of thing." Yeah. But luckily, my neighbor's dad. His son, we were the same age, so his dad's like, "Hey, I want you guys to go out for the football team." I was like, "Whatever, yeah." I was like a round little like you're chubby. My mom was buying jeans from the Husky rack at Martin's, you know what I mean? So football ushered in like it was like a being around team environment. Never been around that, and being big was a good thing. Luckily, as the years grew on, I kind of grew a little taller too. Yeah. And man, hitting people was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. And then like you got positive affirmation for doing that, and now all of a sudden like you gain popularity, and so football like really kind of set my trajectory for success. Like I was always a good student, and the other cool thing was at this time, play for the Rough Riders, and where we played and practice was behind Wayne Hills. So, which is now like rebranded Kendall Heights. But anyways, it's like the public housing, one of the public housing here in Portsmouth. And, my parents were pretty well off to do, but like you were walking in the projects, and that's where you met your other teammates to go play. So So like from an early, and that's to me, like that's one of the greatest things about Portsmouth is it's an enclave of all backgrounds and diversities, rich, poor, East End, Ville, rednecks, like they're all kind of in that melting pot. And that's what football exposed me to from an early age.
Yeah. And then we head into high school. Would you say, so man, the list of Portsmouth high school pedigree athletes, you know, from Kirk Thompson, all the running backs to Kia to, man, I'm butchering this, the Parkers.
Yeah, the Parkers.
It goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
At what age did you begin to love the barbell? Like, man, summer weightlifting is not fun, right?
Yeah.
Conditioning is not fun. And then to have to go tackle, a Kia and line up against Kirk Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Like, tell me about those summers.
So that was all my dad. My dad was real big into weightlifting. Like he started weightlifting when he was in the military. And so growing up, there was always like, remember those like plastic plates and like there was always a set of that around. And, there was also like watching Rocky IV and Rambo and everything. Like that's, was properly propagandized from an early age. And so I just kind of naturally took a liking to it. And then my dad was there to kind of like, hey, this is bench press and curl and squat.
Yeah.
And as I took a liking to it, like through junior high, my dad freaking built a outdoor gym for me. And for him too. But yeah, so I could literally go watch TBS, Rocky IV, and then go right outside and hit some curls and bench press. So
yeah, man, I would say you're doing yourself a disservice. Like, I love when you post the wooden squat rack from your dad's out back. Man, I would share that monthly because I know that's where it started.
Yeah.
You have some friends over, like, hey, let's go hit the weights.
Oh,
but to see, so, luckily for you, product of your environment, right? Mm-hmm. So you had a dad that you see entrepreneurship, you have weights in your house. I grew up in junior high, just like, remember, like crying out to God, just like, man, I wish my dad would like lift weights with me. I remember be like, Dad, come and do push-ups with me. We didn't have no weights. Mm-hmm. Drinking beer, chasing girls. And then I remember like out in Lucasville, I was like, man, I would love the opportunity to have a Life Center membership, $20, $30 a month.
Right.
And my mom ain't paying $30 a month for me to go to exercise class or whatever it is. So, but also, you have a mom and dad that are loving. Mm-hmm. Nothing's guaranteed. You could have easily chose to rebel. Portsmouth, there's drugs just like anywhere. So you channeled that, you took that as wisdom, and then led you on. What made you decide to pursue the military post-graduation?
Man, that's just something I knew. Like I said, I knew growing up, my dad served in Vietnam, never talked about it. He never tried to influence me, but it was like one of those things I watched from afar.
Yeah. Like
going through the old photo books and stuff and seeing stuff. And it was just something I knew I wanted to do. So I'll never forget, like, I must have been like 14. I went down to the recruiter's office and was like, I'm in. And was at the Marine recruiting. Came home with all the swag and everything, and actually put a Marine Corps bumper sticker on my dad's truck. Next day, the bumper sticker was gone, and he's like, you're not enlisted. You're not going to the Marines. And he's like, if you want to go, you're going to have to go to college first. So he was enlisted. He was served for like 14 years. And so I didn't know, at that time, I don't know if there was an officer or enlisted or anything like that. I just knew that I wanted to serve. So I was like, all right, well, so I started applying to all the military academies, West Point Naval Academy. The problem is I wasn't that smart. I wasn't smart. My ACT.
You didn't apply yourself.
I applied myself, but just not enough to have like the 30 ACT score that is required. But there's a thing called ROTC, so Reserve Officer Training Corps. So I was fortunate enough to get a Army ROTC scholarship. And the really cool thing about it was no one knew I applied for it, anything like that. And so I was able to go home, tell my parents what I was like, hey, don't worry. I'm fully funded for your scholarship to go to Capitol. So
incredible. Yeah. And that's a blessing. I went 7 years to Moorhead and Shawnee State and ended up with a $40,000 bill with no degree. And funny fact, Del, it was about 2 years ago. Shawnee State calls my phone. I answered. I'm at Kings Island. I'll never forget it because we were taking the kids up there. It was like one of the dean assistants, like, hey, Mr. Keeney, we got about 12 to 15 people on campus. We're wrapping up. You never came back to pick up your degree. And I was like, well, at this point, it's a flex. Like, you can just keep it. Like, I haven't went back and picked up like that final
$40,000 piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, I'm just going to use it as a flex to say I didn't.
Yeah.
Missing link here. I think you guys were high school sweethearts. So I say behind every strong man is a stronger woman. Tell me about Tia King.
Oh yeah. So I started chasing her when I was in high school.
Okay.
She's a year older than me, so but she was in the same Spanish class, and luckily God put her right in front of me on my first day. So after that, it was just like, I don't remember a thing about Spanish, but I was writing notes, right? So I was writing notes, passed her to her, and finally, this is a testament to my salesmanship, but got her to agree to go out with me one time, and she stood me up flat out. Like, this is before cell phones,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to be at my friend's house. No go.
Okay.
But luckily, she had to see me next Monday in Spanish class. And so, yeah, man. So she was, you know, River Days girl, all that stuff. Like, you know, hands down the most beautiful girl in the school. And so we started dating when I was 16, stuff like that. So, yeah, but she's been like literally since day one.
And then she went on to college, university where, and you was at Capital, right?
Yes, she's at Ohio State. So
Okay,
she
she's
was
at Ohio
there.
State.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's why I went to Capital, but
Close enough.
close enough. So yeah, so we started dating in high school. We were dated on and off in college. We were more on and off, and unless I was being a knucklehead, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so the day you graduate college, if you're on RTC, you get commissioned as an officer, and then you're off. So this is like 2003. So this is the start of Iraq War, and Afghanistan had been going on for a couple years at that point. So I was like, all right, peace, I'm out. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Thinking this is going to be the end of it. And then, it's like separation makes the heart grow fonder. And we ended up getting engaged. No one knew we got engaged because it was right before my first deployment in 2004. No one knew we got married. We got engaged. And then we were like, well, might as well if things turn sour, if things go bad, like at least you get some benefits out of this whole deal. So we got secretly married in 2004, and then came back in between my first and second deployment, and we got hitched here at Christ Community. And we just celebrated 20 years.
20 years. Incredible.
Yeah.
Not easy. You saw a lot of friends come to go, marriages.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, like, any success is because of her. It's not because of me. But you start off in your early 20s in a marriage, and then the first test is like 2 deployments. And you're like, well, if you're gonna stick through, if we're gonna stick by me through that, like, there's not much we can't get through.
Yeah, and then you being smart enough to recognize is, hey, like, I can't screw this up. Like, right, we all have choices and temptations, but it's non-negotiable.
Right. Yeah. Well, and then it's just like, dude, like, if you find somebody that can stick with you through that.
And then now that you have kids, it's like, okay, we wear the jersey, right? You got King on the back of your shirt.
Yeah.
You have your father and mother to look up to. Like, I'm not going to be the guy that ruins the family name. But there's probably a percentage that are 21, 22, wasn't that smart. Could have. Tia, at one point, Tia probably had the reason to leave you. I'm just talking out of the context because I know how often I would be selfish and disrespect Brooke, right?
Yeah.
Men were extremely selfish. So, yeah, kudos to 20 years. And what people don't know, Tia is an uber professional lady herself. I don't even know. Like, people ask how me and Brooke keep it together. Tia, she's like somewhat on midnight still on the emergency?
So she's a nurse practitioner at the ER, and so when she's on shift, she does like a 12-hour shift. So it's like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
So it's great that we can be able to kind of tag team back and forth. When she's working, I'll have responsibility for the kids, and a lot of it is her parents to take care of, our main source of childcare, which is a blessing.
Grandparents.
But yeah, so she handles her thing. She works the minimum amount of shifts she can to be full time. But the other thing, like, in addition to the deployment stuff, it's like, I think it's worse and even more difficult as a spouse to stand by you as an entrepreneur.
Oh, agreed.
Like, at least when you're deployed, you're like over there out of the country doing your thing. But like, entrepreneurship's a lot like deployments, man. But you're never off.
Never off.
You might be there physically, but you're always in the game somehow. So that's
text
it's
message,
a difficult
a phone
thing.
call away. Hey, the water broke, the heating's out. Yeah, that's what they don't tell you.
Yeah, sewer line needs replaced. Yeah,
you've been there a couple of times. All right, so got married, you graduated from Capital, went to deployment overseas. Quickly run me through as you're coming back to your last deployment and seeking a career.
Yeah, so my 4 years was up in 2007. And the way the op tempo was, like, you were deploying every 7 months and coming home for 7 months, and that was just it for the foreseeable future. So I was like, I don't think it's not going to be the best situation to be married for the, for the next. You don't want to be 20 years at war and you're going to be deployed 12 times. So I was thinking of ways, like looking at civilian opportunities, and I was going to be, I was wanting to go to like a 3-letter agency, something like that. And that's the kind of the route that I was taking. And then there came this opportunity here locally to work in the security department up at the A plant. And I was like, what is the A plant? I know it's there. But
For real.
like, what is uranium enrichment? I couldn't even, pronounce nuclear correctly. But her father-in-law was working there, and he was like, hey, there's this job opportunity. Filled in for it. And the next day the dude called me. Hey, it's yours if you want it. I said, you want to go back to Ohio? She's like, yeah, Cincinnati, Columbus sounds awesome. I was like, what about Portsmouth? So she wasn't, rightfully so, she wasn't all about it. But
Yeah.
being a nurse practitioner, she can work anywhere. And so I found myself kind of working in the Department of Energy realm, 2007. Yeah, started in 2007.
Yeah, and what people don't know around here in our small Southern Ohio, like that is the mecca of employment, the mecca of median salary. It pays well. 2,000-3,000 people work there. If you work there, it's like you made it, right?
Yeah.
Especially in your position as a security leader. I mean, there's different levels but even if you're a bottom tier janitor or worker, like you made it in this
You're in the
town.
Mafia.
Yeah.
You're
providing for 3 generations, grandkids.
Yeah. It's hard to get in, but once you're in, you don't get out.
For sure. However, I know 2 guys that got out and they're sitting right here today in Portsmouth.
Man, it's so funny. I'll never forget when I was quitting, essentially. But by that time I was a Fed, so I was working full-time federal employee. And one of my coworkers, in his defense, thought he was doing it because he was really looking out for my best interest, but kind of sent me this like scathing email, like, you cannot quit. This will be the worst thing for you. Like, you don't want to give this up, So that's like the level of thought. And he some would argue he was right. Like, I remember having a conversation with my dad, and I was like, I think I'm going to quit. And it's just like, okay, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to run the gym full time in the poorest and most
unhealthiest
part of the state. So anybody should be like, let's rethink that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't think that's going to be the best thing to do. So, and he had run his shop for 30 years. And so I'll never forget, and he was trying to give me all the reasons not to do it, as a father should. And so finally I just looked at him and I said, if you could go back, would you still want to be working for a big insurance company? Without hesitation, he goes, there's no way I would do that. So once he told me that, I was like, all right, we're off.
Yeah, so this is leading to us to kind of like, the meat and potatoes of really what I want to talk about is, and that was when you exited, when did you?
Officially full-time in 15.
In 15.
Yeah.
Okay. In, I think 2012, when did you start
I started there in 2010.
Okay. So I remember that's when I was about 27, 26, came to work, CrossFit workouts.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it part-time then. Yeah. Then like when you came down here, it was almost kind of full-time, right?
Yeah. So I came officially, we moved here in 13. So I was kind of like on the tail end of getting out.
Gotcha. And so I'm currently at that point, I think I got hired in the A plan in 2009, 2010. So I'm there as well. And Del, I was a terrible employee. And I go back and think about this, is like, I was always terrible at being an employee because I would always think about the most efficient way to do a job. At the A plant, they tell you to go do something and look busy. I was terrible at looking busy. I would be like, I just want to take a gun to my head. And then hence I meet you. And like I said, some of my darkest times, I thought your life was good, but my wife is trying to get me to be a father and a husband. All I want to do is drink beer, party, and selfish. Only child, monkey see, monkey do. Dad, very bitter, addictive personality, drink beer. I thought that's what people do in Southern Ohio, right? They work 40 hours and then they drink beer.
Well, it is what people do. Yeah.
A lot of people do.
That's not an uncommon thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So whenever you defer, go a different route, I think it's a lot easier to succeed whenever you just change the route, because a lot of people still drinking the beer and staying up late, Netflix, and no plan. So a couple of conversations I want to talk about. We get down here to the new gym on this is 3rd Street, right? 3rd Street, 3rd Street, 549 3rd Street, PSKC. Ben, I think you just had your, was it
15th year in August, yeah.
So Dell has ran a CrossFit competition 15 straight years, from teams of 4, teams of 6, one-on-one, partner, any which way you can do it.
Yeah.
The first to Southern Ohio, for even at the old gym, just super cool, epic. And I got to be firsthand. I'm here as a volunteer judge, to being an athlete, to, luckily I was able to be on a coach and be a staff and then participate many different times. What's your, can you believe you've had 15 years and looking back at some of the success? And
Man, I can't believe I have 15 days.
For sure.
They're like, 100%. There's no way. Looking back 15 years, you can pick any story or any milestone or any event, I would tell you you're crazy that would have happened.
let's talk about CrossFit, workout, exercise, whatever you want to call it. As I drive to the road a lot. I burn up the roads. You fly a lot, travel, burn up the roads. As I'm looking back, and I still can't believe even be sitting here with you, this podcast, I just don't take any day for granted. I can't believe I'm living my life. I remember having a conversation with you over here in the corner. You walked in, like, Dell, how'd you do it? You said, man, just like visualize your perfect day, like reverse engineer, work backwards, have a game plan. You know, it's going to take long. And at that time, I was too dumb to even comprehend that. But could you tell the listeners, or even tell me, like, what have you learned from the kettlebell, the burpees, and the sweat?
Oh, yeah. Like I was saying earlier, the mental aspects of what working out hard does for you far exceeds the physiological benefits. You know, there's a lot. I could rip off 7 different cliches, but just means not being afraid to do hard things.
Yeah,
that's it. Because that's what life is, and we've all been sold this dream of convenience and ultimate comfort, and that's not life. Mm-hmm. Like, everything worth having is because you worked hard for it. You know what I mean? This is going to turn into like a Rocky IV podcast, but the montage is what makes the movie. Yeah. Not the ultimate victory.
Yeah.
It's the montage. It's the getting there. It's the hero's journey of showing up. And voluntarily subjecting yourself to difficult things sets you so far and above people who are unwilling to do that. And when I do talks and stuff to different audiences, you know, one thing that always kind of resonates is I'll ask, hey, when was the last time you're proud of yourself for what you did physically? And you just kind of see
crickets.
Oh, well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
You start digging into that, it's going to unlock a lot of different levels in your life.
Which leads me to, you know, the past couple years, I grew as an adult, I grew as a father, I grew as a business leader, coach, whatever you want to say it. And why I was so excited to really just connect with you again, talk with you, because I've had many of hours to self-reflect and identify. And if it wasn't for taking a chance right here at PSKC, if it wasn't for your leadership of that whiteboard, if it wasn't for, there were some workouts I would question and be like, dude, this dude's an idiot. Why am I doing 300 back squats?
And you were correct.
And then from the sissy test, doing it one time, it was 25 kettlebell swings to burpees, is I wanted to quit. But your mindset back then is don't quit. I don't care if it takes you 2 hours, don't quit.
Yeah.
And I was a quitter my whole life. I would cheat reps in the gym. I had enough charisma and charm just to get by. Cheated myself through college. Gave my wife half an effort. Went and played college football. As Matt could tell you, like, I was a pretty good player, but I would drink beer the night before the game and get a cramp in the third play and be on the sidelines. An idiot.
Yeah.
But thought I was living my best life. And as I look back and reflect of like, man, like, I don't know what success is. There's a couple worms, like people's like, oh, you're successful, wealth. Those are terms I don't even know.
Right.
I think those are ever evolving, ever changing.
And when will they be enough, you know?
Yeah, but I do know that you, the coaches, this gym taught me the power of hard work. And with that, I was able to take that small gift and go teach a whole lot of people myself. And consistent, just show up tomorrow. We're going to do hard things. We're going to sweat, smile, laugh, high five, and keep showing up.
Yep.
And you know, that's the recipe.
Yeah. Well, look, any success you've had, any success I've had, you know, we can play, we can follow that coaching tree, but it all goes back to Greg Glassman.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, right? He created the program. He founded the program. He's responsible for anything positive on the, you know, the business side of my life. And so, you know, I'm in a cool position now to where I'm working for his new company called MetFix, and kind of being able to, you know, see more inside to Greg and just have the opportunity to sit down and, you know, learn from him a couple times a year.
Study.
But his whole like there's a lot of different things I've learned from him, but I always keep going back to do the right things for the right reasons for the right people.
Nice.
And if you do that, you could define whatever wealth and success is. Because I've screwed up all the time.
Yeah.
Several, like business world, I've chased this, I've chased that, you know, I've gone back and questioned, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for the right reasons? And so it always comes back to the right things for the right reasons for the right people. And that's it, man. And if you do that,
everything
your life will be fulfilled. You won't even know the impact that you've had on others while you do that. So
yeah, that's incredible wisdom. And you know, I'm always reflecting. I probably say it too much, but what I have grown to even love about you throughout the years, you know, we really haven't spent much time together. You know, I kind of left, I believe it was May of 2017. I could say I spent probably about 2013 to 2017 here, 4 years. Learned a lot, learned a ton. But as I'm watching you from afar, is you didn't settle. Complacency. And I think you and I might be a lot alike. I think whenever you begin to get complacent, I think that you're like, man, I got more in me. From, you know, Doc Spartan traveling, shooting your shot. And I remember before that, you didn't really tell anybody about that. It was, I mean, I knew there was something going on behind the scenes, but I know you didn't really let the gym know until at least you came back. But you was like in major prep mode 30 days before that. And but then when you went, then I think it kind of got out as you got back. It, you know, totally incredible. I don't really know anybody else in Southern Ohio that, you know, went and shot your shot. That's incredible. Yeah, man. So that was one of the most stressful non-military experiences I've ever had, was prepping to go on that show, going on that show, pitching, tap dancing, being able to, you know, answer questions, the whole thing, and ultimately come back with a deal from Robert Herjavec. So I would wake up, I'd go run the levee. Okay, I remember that. So I had this like real weird routine where I'd wake up early, go run the levee, do 10 sprints, and then once I knew my pitch, so I'd run a sprint and then rehearse the pitch in my head, go down, run back up, run. Like, that's the level of you know, fanaticism I was going in with it, because that's the only thing you could control, was that first 90 seconds going into it. But the reason we wanted to do that, obviously it was a great reason for our business and the whole thing, but you always got to look at why you're doing something. Okay. Right. And profit and finances are great. I mean, that's why businesses exist. But if you want to kind of look at a bigger picture, it's like, well, why are we doing that?
And at that time, for me, the mission was to be able to go on that platform and then show other people imports within small towns that you can do it there.
Yeah.
Like through the power of the internet and being able to hustle, and that you can think of an idea, you can execute upon that idea and get it out there. You can do things in small towns, and because no one's coming to save those towns. Like there's no magical factory that's going to come and employ 3,000 people. It's going to take entrepreneurs and micro businesses to be able to start doing it on their own. So that was like the main reason, and it worked out. But like that was step one. Like what people don't understand is what all goes into, if you get it, it's successful. Now you got to execute, fulfill on that, right? So, I mean, you know this. So if you're just trying to keep your head above water, right? You've got these multiple locations. You're trying to make sure the orders are fulfilled, the shelves are stocked. What happens if somebody's like, hey, I need 5,000 meals?
Or the equipment breaks, they can't produce it.
And so, all right, well, we ain't missing out on 5,000 meals. I'll tell you that.
We're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. And that, so like to me, entrepreneurship, regardless of the avenue of approach you're taking, the number one, well, the top two skill sets are A, problem solving, and B, creativity, which they kind of go hand in hand. That's all entrepreneurs are. Like they see a problem, they can deploy and develop a unique solution for that, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, identify a problem, create a solution. That's where in the food aspect, I was like, man, like there's nothing south of Columbus. Through lots of failures, we finally made it, but it wasn't through falling many, many times. And
there's plenty of Mickey D's and there's plenty of Dollar Generals.
Yeah, but there's no chicken breast and green beans, that's for sure. Back to that Doc Spartan event is the power of preparation, like you said. I mean, for 30, 45 days, you're locked in, waking up early, sprinting, just rehearsing for that 90 seconds. Michael Jordan says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and you knew at that point the ball was in your hand. Control what I can control. You can control Dell King's effort, attitude, positivity, and you brought it that day. That was super cool. Which leads us into, complacency, right? Maybe, I'm not saying you got a little bored, but you saw an opportunity. You have resources. I know your buddy Chase and Small Town Strong. Like nobody has ever thought, I mean, who can create a document, have an idea, call a few folks and say, hey, let's make a run at this thing. Yeah. So Dell created, kind of self-produced with a team of 3 to 5 individuals, maybe. Yeah.
I was executive producer on it, but really that was like Chase was my brother Chase Millsap was the
brains, maybe.
Yeah, the executive producer and director behind it, and he would come here and kind of be like, man, this is pretty unique what's happening here, just through the gym and through Doc Spartan and we had Spartan Solutions Group 2 going on, just being able to have this kind of small business impact through fitness and different gyms. And he was like, I think like this should be captured in some capacity. So we put together a couple different what are called sizzle reels and pitch decks and stuff like that, and we're just striking out. I mean, we were getting meetings, so we had meetings with Netflix and Warner Brothers and all the big time players, but we were just striking out. Like no one was biting on the project. And unfortunately, a key player in the documentary was a guy named Billy Deaver, and he passed away. And so he passed away of fentanyl poisoning. And so Chase, after that happened, Chase and I were like, screw it, man. Like we're not gonna wait for somebody to pick this project up. Like we're gonna self-fund it and see if we can sell it afterwards. And I don't recommend anybody do that. like rule number one is never spend your own money if you don't have to. Yeah.
Del, do you care to, just educate people and feel free to not, like, what does a project like that, and what does it cost, or you don't even got to tell me the real number?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do it?
Right. So we did it cheaply because we were like punk rock DIYing it, so selling CDs out of your trunk kind of thing. But all in, it was around $200,000 to
and you say that, and you say that's cheaply, like
that's
$200,000.
Cheap. So like a good, like a doc you're watching on Prime or Netflix, you're looking at probably around $750,000. Okay. Like if it's done right. Yeah. So
And then you hope it ggets picked up, and then you get monetized on the back
Yeah,
end.
so you get
by it
monetized on the
airs.
back end. So you know that's the thing. I mean, I could spend all day talking about the different business aspects of it, but essentially, it's just like it's your baby, it's your project, and then if it's yours and you find a distributor, you recoup the lion's share of, you know, every time it gets watched on Amazon, you get a portion of that back.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible there.
Which there's a reason why independent filmmakers are broke. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not a lucrative endeavor.
So from the pedigree of, you know, you driving down 23 saying I'm hanging up the government roots, PSKC town, I'm opening up a gym. Go ahead and share with me, because I can't rip them off. There's so many accolades. I could go on and on, but name the 3 to 5 businesses I know, from, you know, Shark Tank, Doc Spartan, to at one time you was doing a clothing apparel with some of the crew years ago, to Spartan Solutions, to Small Town Strong. What am I missing here? I'm sure many others.
So everything the gym is kind of like the foundation for that. Everything's been built on, successfully or unsuccessfully. The gym to Doc Spartan, then from there we did Third and Court, which was like a cool project. That's how I met, you know, the talented Connor Sherman. He was kind of the creative brain behind that, along with Sadie and Mo, and just doing like a hometown t-shirt company. So that was cool. Did that for a couple years. And then Spartan Solutions. So Spartan Solutions was cool. Like, it was an awesome thing for me kind of personally, because I got kicked out of the Life Center back in the day for using kettlebells in 2009, and then played a small role in brokering a deal between Rogue Fitness and Osco to make kettlebells in Portsmouth. And then for 4 years or something, we played a small role in like being a subcontractor and packaging up those kettlebells for Osco. So that was cool, and that was right across the street. And then producing Small Town Strong a couple years ago. And then here, really the last 18 months, I've been really excited to be in the role of head of affiliates for MetFix, and that's the new education company that Greg Glassman started. So that's what I've been heavily involved in the last 18 months.
Yeah. So that's where I was saying studying is not being complacent and settling for PSKC. As I opened up a gym, I realized real quick is like, man, I could be a gym coach and I could make my 30 to 60K, which is you know, teaching salary. But it's like, I'm giving up 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The gym's kind of sometimes, whether you say it or not, it's only successful as the energy you put out, right? Nobody's going to love PSKC like Dell loves it. Looking at this gym, it looks like a warehouse, and there's 100 to 150K of equipment. And all you do is see dust and iron and sweat. Just some fun times here inside the gym right here, PSKC. Oh, I want to share a couple of things with you, or if you can remember. I remember being in a coach's meeting with you. You're fired up, cussing us, teaching us, you know, tired of us being lazy coaches that just want on a rampage teaching, which is, man, I couldn't make him a lot, but I got to experience a couple. Yeah. And he was to the point. You had a plan, you had a whiteboard, you know, 30, 45 minutes, asking Q&A. And I remember you grabbing this phone and like talking about gossip on Facebook. And you're like, man, the power of this phone, like you can do anything right here. And I'll never forget it because I took it. I took that. Right? I wasn't confident. I remember my first Facebook Live, my hand was shaking. And from seeing you just keep putting yourself up there, the power of being able to make fun of yourself, right? I always try to say at this point, entertain, educate, motivate. The only 3 reasons why you should be posting on Facebook. Yeah, I don't get them. 17 years ago, I'd want to get in a shouting match with somebody, but entertain, educate, motivate. And through that lesson that you gave me, is I've been able to build 2 or 3 businesses myself just through the power of a cell phone.
Yep. Yeah, I've never seen somebody I admire and respect make a negative comment on Facebook.
Agree, man.
You know what I mean? It's just not there.
Yeah.
It's not there, and it's so funny. We've been doing this dumb little thing on Doc Spartan where we make these fake memes, and we're monetized now, like through Meta. So Meta will pay us to produce content on their platform. And so we make these dumb little fake memes, and the most engaged ones are these like politically. We're making fun of both sides of the aisle, but man, people just go in there and they think it's real, and it's just and that's what the algorithm wants. That's what it wants. It wants people posting negative crap on.
And
on
I
their
love, I
platform.
actually seen the one the other day where somebody's like, I'm never supporting your company. And you looked up his file and said, thank you for your 0 orders. Incredible.
Well, dude, and that's the thing, like it sucks. Like you're going to get, here's the guaranteed way to not catch hate on social media. Don't do anything.
Don't do, yeah.
Don't do anything.
You're going to get hate, good or bad.
You're going to get hate. And I got exposed to this super early on. One of my best friends lost his leg in Afghanistan. And I mean, this was like 2012. We posted a video of him in a CrossFit competition. And 50% of the comments were, this is awesome, this is amazing. The other 50% were hating on his form.
Guy with no leg, amputee.
And then, but it was awesome because I realized at that point, oh, none of this matters.
Yeah.
None of this matters. If people are gonna hate on this dude for working out with one leg, who cares? Don't listen to him.
Yeah, for sure. And was that Derek?
Yeah, it was Derek Carver,
which is super jacked, super intense, leader himself. What this is another. Some people was like the power of initiative, and I'm a protege under you. I'm not saying I take pride in this, but I feel like I can see things that other people can't see. I remember being super excited, 27, 28-year-old, run up and kind of shaking your hand. I said, Dell, you don't know it. I said, but I'm going to work for you. And as a lot of times being a gym owner, like you got to go recruit, right? Like even the whole time that I've coached Dreamboat Fitness for 7 years, I've never had anybody come up and it's always like, I have to go, we need help. I mean, facts are facts. We have to have coaches to help keep the lights on.
Yep.
But I always say, man, just the power of initiative, knocking on the door. Did Greg Glassman seek you, or did Dell King seek?
Man, it was about a meet in the middle of the road.
Okay.
Meet in the middle of the road kind of thing. I first met Greg in 2020, and he was doing Zoom calls with affiliate owners, and so I was in there with a group of folks, and I've been wanting to talk to Greg forever.
Yeah.
And so we hit it off. He gave me his phone number. And then unfortunately he got canceled. Basically, he had to sell CrossFit. And so I just reached out to him because I was genuinely concerned, like, oh man, this is his this is what he created. And now he's getting, people are hating on him. And I would just kind of send him texts like, hey man, I love you. I really appreciate everything you did going forward. Da, 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 da. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, hey, why don't you come out to the house? And I was like, all right. So I'm getting ready to book my next flight. And he's like, no, dude. Like, I'll take care of it. Like, you just come and hang out. I just want just want you to hang out and learn more about you. And that's really how it started. So I was like 21. And then as things were as he was trying to figure out what his next endeavor was going to be, I said, him and Emily, which Emily Kaplan's the co-founder.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, if this is going to be something you guys are going to launch, like, I'd love to be a part of it. I'll put wood in the fireplace and sweep floors. I don't care. I just see the value in it, and I'd love to be a part of it. And that's how it took place.
Which gets back to the point is the power of over delivery without expecting anything in return. What I'm saying is, like, you watered. Yeah, I remember you writing for CrossFit.com, not expecting anything in return, over delivering, and not expecting anything in return. And then a guy that you sought mentorship is like, hey, I want you on my team, right?
Yeah, that's it. Like, if you want to, whatever you want to do, you can't. I hate sales. Marketing to me is fun because you're just telling a story.
Yeah.
But like literally asking somebody for money for a product, I freaking hate it.
Agree.
It's just, I know, like, you're giving away your meals all the time.
Yeah. Do that for a reason.
Right.
I don't have billboards.
Right.
Once I hand somebody whatever, a spinach turkey wrap, is like, they can't unknow how it tastes.
If you believe in your product, all you got to make sure is somebody gets a hold of it.
Yeah.
Versus like, well, I'll give you 5% off.
Yeah.
Like, you want to start the gym? Come tomorrow. First workout's free.
Absolutely. Always.
And so don't be afraid to, like, people are they want, It's too transactional.
Yeah.
Always, it's not even necessarily a matter of playing the long game. It's just, I always respected people that I was able to learn something from. They'd give me value before even talking business
For sure.
out of it.
Yeah. We're in a gym. You probably sell minimal supplements. I sell minimal supplements. It's like, it's in the sweat. It's in the hard work. It's between the ears. Yeah. You can, supplementation is fifth on my pyramid of hierarchy, but everybody wants to start with the weight loss pill, the weight loss drink,
Or the shot. Yeah.
the shot.
Yeah.
How about let's get in here and do some hard work? No,
Yeah.
there's a reason why, sometimes our gyms are kind of empty, right? It's hard.
Well, look, I couldn't think. I make this joke all the time, but you're a living embodiment of, like, the two worst things you could sell is burpees and broccoli. You know what I mean? Like, but just because it's needed,
Yeah.
right? And so just because something is hard and something is needed, there's got to be a market for it.
All right. So Del King, well, I'm 42. You're 44, 45,
44. I'll be 45 in January.
45. What does, what's on Del's agenda? What does 50 and 60 look like?
It's funny. You're asking, like, when does it stop? When will you settle? The whole thing. This morning, literally, I spent 4 hours trying to learn how to make my own app.
Okay. Nice.
So, like, I'm on ChatGPT, and then I'm on this other platform that is an AI app builder, and so I'm getting ChatGPT to talk to this platform. And to me, I don't even know if it's going to turn into anything. So I spent 4 hours learning AI and learning how to build an app. So whether that gets turned into a business or not, for me, it's a problem solving game.
Sure.
And a lot of it too is like my parents are getting older and they're not doing as well as I'd like them to do. And a lot of it has to do, like, my dad especially doesn't want to do anything on his cell phone. He's 87.
Yeah.
He has the rights to do whatever.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I got to stay up with the latest technology for as long as I can to stay relevant.
Yeah.
So now I want to, like, I'm learning that stuff for myself. If it turns into a business thing, cool. If not, whatever. But I'm like, it's the process of always continually learning. But now I can, like, my daughter's super obsessed with tech. So now we can spend time on the computer and I can start trying to, whatever she learns at school is great. But I want her to be able to, like, hey, what's something cool you want to build as an app?
For sure.
And now we can share that experience. But if I'm not willing to subject myself and continually learn and stay in the game somehow, I'm going to miss out on those experiences as well.
Yeah, I agree. I say it's a pro and a con. I say this a lot is, about the time I get something figured out and it's going good, I start looking for the next project. And that's why I say me and you kind of fell from the same apple tree.
Or I've been down this AI rabbit hole pretty hard. And so, man, if this technology was available 10 years ago when I started Doc Spartan, do you know how much money and time and effort that could have
just saved just from trying to create a spreadsheet 10 years ago in Excel, and it taking you,
or learning your Shopify store and building in your email capture like your back end marketing, your abandoned cart stuff. And now, like, it's not that it's going to replace you, it just accelerates your productivity and learning.
Yeah, because half the people ain't going to learn it anyway.
Right.
And
I see this so much, especially in our area. A lot of the early success from the gym was in that 2012 to 16 timeframe, I'd say, because we were the only ones using social media.
Mm-hmm.
Not because, like, I'm the social media marketing guru. It's just because where I was in that age trajectory. It's like, post pictures of your clients being awesome.
Or the fear of not caring what people thought about Del King, right? Some people still today can't share a story because it's a fear, right?
Sure. Oh, sure. It's 100% a fear. But yeah, it's like always staying up with the trends, because if not, man, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah. And I think what's the word? Copy and still. I mean, that's all business is sometimes. Copy and still, replicate in your most authentic self.
Sure.
I trained under you for 4 years, and then seeing you going live every day, making fun of yourself, posting. It's like, why would I reinvent the wheel? I'm just going to, fall on my face many times, stuttering.
Oh.
And then over time, it's just like, I found my own trademark, and it's lasted for 7 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, anything you got for me, Del? Like any crazy questions or something? Not to put you on the...
So another thing I thought about is, this is going to be so not what you thought.
It's all right.
Your containers.
Containers.
Right?
Okay.
So how, walk me through the process of, because I look at your stuff, and it's, first of all, you see my orders coming in every week. Right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm a believer in it. But then I just look at, from the business standpoint, I'm like, how are you forecasting what meals go where and ensuring it's all covered on the back end?
So just through weeks and months of data.
Yeah.
Right. When I built this business, knocking on Sonora's door in Lucasville, Ohio, years ago, they didn't think I could sell 200 or 300. Not so much. Tanya and Martine are awesome.
Right.
But it just took a couple times to convince the manager of the store. He said, nobody's going to buy cold food. I said, well, let's just give it a try.
Right.
And in 4 weeks, we went from 0 to 800 mils. And I was like, okay, proof of concept, right? Minimal barrier to entry, proof of concept. And then I looked at my wife and I said, hey, if we could run a space, if I could do 1,500 mils a week, I could have some staff and I think I could take care of the family. And of course, she just agreed to it. And like you just said, some weeks, it's all a guesstimate, to be honest with you.
Sure.
It's a guesstimate, but the retail stores now allow, so like this week, we had about 120 extra mils. And then the back end marketing thing is like, I just give them away on Sunday in hopes it gets in somebody's hands to be a customer. Mm-hmm. I try to have, $3.50, just to be honest with you, $3.50 to no more than $4 per mil as my overhead. Mm-hmm. But the containers I ordered learning from you, shipping container. So I got 100,000 containers in a shipping container.
Right.
They're hosted at Richie's in Piketon. They just deliver 20, 30 cases. Each case is like 300 or 400. So every Monday I get roughly 5,000 to 6,000 containers. And then it's just whiteboard. Like literally every single week, I just have a whiteboard system, and it's just been through 4 years. That's why I try to tell people, good luck. Good luck. Nobody's going to start out and be, to where I'm at today. It's taken years of failing. Yeah. So I just got my own unique system. I don't know, probably not the most efficient, but I study it every single week.
Yeah.
And so.
What's crazy, man, if you could take all that data, throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, we're growing at 3% every week. And then it's amazing, the quasi-accurate forecast.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with us. Deodorant containers or this container, that container, or labels. If you ain't getting your best deals on it, man, that eats up your margins pretty
I was
quick.
getting labels, so like the macro chicken taco label for 14.5 cents per sticker. I was getting beat up. And then I went and sourced it myself. I got it for 0.035 cents. So I ended up saving $2,000 or $3,000 a month. I mean, that's a $30,000 salary just by sourcing that. And then when I ordered the shipping container of containers, so that deal saved me like $60K in a year.
For everybody that doesn't like math and wants to be a business owner, you'll learn to love it.
Yeah, learn to love math for sure. Oh, man. Man, so much business we could talk about. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is the driving force is the mental clarity, the adaptation between the ears, like you just said, the sweat, the 100 burpees, the 100 wall balls, the deadlifts, and the camaraderie. Yeah. You've preached it for years. I don't know, man, until you can experience doing hard things.
No, and that's the thing. It's and I know we got to wrap up because they're going to yell at us, but, in closing, I just say, choose your hard. Mm-hmm. Choose your hard. 30-minute walk, that might be super freaking hard for you right now, but you're going to benefit from it. Choose your heart, especially if you're listening to this and you're in a small business entrepreneurship. It's going to get hard,
real hard.
No matter what you do, no matter what level you're at, no matter if you're a 10x or a 100x, it's hard. So you need to be doing something that's going to prepare you for that hard, so when you're faced with that ultimate obstacle that's going to come, you have the mental resilience to go through it. Like, choose your hard and be ready. And, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready.
Stay ready. That's it.
Just stay ready, man.
Facts. Del, thank you for your time. We're at PSKC 549 3rd Street, Portsmouth, Ohio. A man that's been on a mission for 15 consecutive years. Like I said, you either love him or you hate him, and you only hate him is because you don't know him. Once you step in and go through a workout with him, and that's the, social media aspect. But I'm uber thankful that I had the courage to walk through this gym. I'm super thankful that you took a chance on me and allowed me to coach within your walls. And I was smart enough to just channel all that, stick it in my head, and try to become an entrepreneur that you already set the path and blazed the trail. I don't do anything special. I just don't miss. I watch and study you from afar, daily, weekly, whether you know it or not. And I hope to continue to water this friendship. I wish the best for you and the coaching tree, man, from Mo to all your staff down here. I look at the world as abundance. You know what I mean? If somebody's not coming to Dreamboat Fitness or ordering Keeney's meal prep, it's not what Del's doing. It's what am I not doing, right? So I like to say I got tunnel vision. I don't know what's going on east and to the west, and you're the same way. You're focused on your team, your community, Tia, your kids, your parents, your community. And man, just proud that we get to lock arms and do it together.
Well, dude, listen, thank you. And I feel the same watching you. And in the day, the more people that are moving, the more people that are eating better, the more our society is going to benefit from it. So the more, the better.
Yeah, facts. And I'm super excited. January 10th, hopefully, if Del's not in London or across Ukraine, we're going to be launching Connect 2026 Summit, Chillicothe, Ohio, new venue. Del's going to be the keynote speaker. Pain is not my enemy. It is my call to greatness. He's going to kick us off at 10 a.m., get everybody fired up, put them through some burpees. And
some coffee.
Some coffee and burpees, and we'll be ready to go. Del, thank you for your time. Thank you for leadership, man.
Dude, thank you, brother.
Wait to share it out.
Appreciate you, man. Love you.